I had no idea what Patagonia was going to feel like. I had seen the photos, heard the people talk about it, but nothing really prepares you for the moment you're standing in the middle of it and realizing just how small you are. This place doesn't care about you, and somehow that's exactly what makes it so incredible to be in. This is my first time being here, and I'm staying on a ranch with real gauchos, the cowboys of South America, and I have absolutely no idea what the next few weeks are going to look like. This is Patagonia, and these are my first impressions. And first things first, we are starting off with a beautiful sunset here. We are on the way to watch an incredible sunset because it's already later in the day and we can see that the sun is gonna set so beautiful, so we decided to take the pickup truck and go out for a drive, and currently it's looking like this, which is absolutely gorgeous. So let's go. We arrived at the canyon and it's just so beautiful. The sun unfortunately already set, as you can see here, but this is the canyon. It's quite dark, but look at the insanely high mountain peaks there, and all the way there's actually a glacier as well, and there's more snow. Incredible, and look at how beautiful and big these landscapes are. But before I could fully take any of this in, there was something I needed to understand about life on this ranch, and it started with the horses. Gauchos have a completely different relationship with horses than anything I had seen before. The way they saddle up, it's layered, it's traditional, and it's intentional. Every piece of equipment has a reason. These people don't think about riding, they just ride like it's as natural as breathing. And when you get on a horse here, you kind of understand why. Patagonia is not the kind of landscape you experience from a car window. You need to be in it and moving through it. Horseback riding here is not a hobby, it's just how this place gets lived in. Every day being here showed me something new, but Patagonia kept pulling us further out beyond the fields and beyond the ranch, into places I haven't even thought to look for. One afternoon, we drove out to Trevelin, a small town in the Andes that was actually founded by Welsh settlers in the 1800s. I did not expect this to find in the middle of Patagonia, and just outside of this town, there's a waterfall called Nant y Fall, which is a Welsh name in Argentina. This place just keeps surprising me. The next day, I got to witness something that most people who come to Patagonia never get to see. Real gaucho work, the kind that doesn't make it onto postcards. Today we are at a local ranch and, well, not a lot, but just a big thing happening. Today we need to get all the cows from another area. We need to get them back into the corral, a small round place. Then the moms have to be separated of the kids, and the kids are gonna be brand marked today. This is a huge thing that happens in ranches and it takes a whole day. It is happening today, so I'm gonna show you exactly how it is done because it's super interesting. So let me take you along. What you're about to see is part of the annual cattle work that happens on ranches like this one all across Patagonia. The cows are rounded up, branded with the ranch mark, and their ears are chipped for identification. It's loud and it's physical and it's completely real. Watching the gauchos work with so much speed and precision and the way they just know what they're doing is one of the most impressive things I've seen. And even though I couldn't be much of a help, I felt incredibly lucky to be allowed to witness it. And just when I thought I started to understand this place, someone asked me if I wanted to cross into Chile. Because that's the thing about Patagonia, it doesn't belong to one country. It's split right down the middle between Argentina and Chile, two completely different sides of the same wild region. I had only seen one half, so it was time to see the other. As we are crossing the border, we are now crossing the Cordillera and it is so pretty. Oh my god, the views are insane. We had to stop and quickly admire it because what an incredible place, and it's not so long until we are officially arriving at the border of Chile. We had to stop again alongside the road because I'm not exaggerating when I say that this place is just incredible. Look at where we are. Here you can see the pure beauty that we are seeing. All the mountains, we have even the moon there. And then look at the current here. It is simply so beautiful. This is amazing because here you can really see how strong the current is. Look at how powerful this river goes. We are now driving past Lago Yelcho and it's literally fairy tale land. Like, it's so beautiful. I cannot believe how stunning this place is. Look here, how huge as well. The water is super clear. You can literally see the stones at the bottom and there are mountains everywhere around it. And a lot of mountains have snow as well, and we've been seeing a lot of glaciers, which is just incredible. Driving here is like a dream coming true. We currently stopped at the little town called Santa Lucia, and I've just been told a crazy story that here in Chile it actually happens often that the ground moves. There apparently are so many volcanoes in Chile, and it happens a lot that when the ground moves, the volcanoes erupt or tsunamis happen. And what also happens is that when the ground moves, a mountain can collapse. And what happened here in this village is that a mountain collapsed on top of the village. And it's really sad to see because here you can see rest of roofs. So there you can see all of these broken houses, and here they actually built a few new houses, but here you can see the damage that has been done. And it happened apparently on a Sunday morning, so a lot of people died, which is quite a tragic story if you ask me. And it also shows how powerful Mother Nature here is in Chile. We made it to Parque Pumalin. It starts here and then look, oh my god, and it goes up so incredibly high. I love this so much. These trees are incredibly beautiful. It's so nice because everywhere at this walk, you're kind of like walking alongside the river, the water, and it's so beautiful because you have little viewpoints like this everywhere. Look at this, it's so stunning. You can see the water and it's just so refreshing to walk here. I love it. Wow, we just saw such an incredible glacier alongside the road and it was so huge. How beautiful the sun is setting here. Everything is dark already, but we are in this incredibly mesmerizing field. Look at all these trees, and then we have the sun going down. We have the beautiful red and green colors in the back. The clouds are turning all kind of orange and this field is just so stunning. And while I was out here exploring every corner of this region, there was one more place I needed to mention. I also spent a full day in Los Alerces National Park, and I just want to take a second to put this into perspective. The Alerce trees that grow here are among the oldest living organisms on Earth. Some of them are over 3,000 years old. That means they were already ancient when the Roman Empire was still being built. Standing next to one of them and trying to wrap your head around that is a strange and incredibly humbling feeling. That day has its own video, which I will link right here, but I couldn't show you Patagonia without showing you at least a glimpse of this. I came to Patagonia not knowing what to expect, and I'm leaving it not knowing how to explain it. That's the thing about places like this. They don't give you specific conclusions. They leave you different than when you arrived. The gauchos, the horses, the wind, the open field, all of it, I'll still carry it with me. And I have a feeling it will be for a long time. This was just the beginning.